What's going on, people? SPA and otherwise, this is Timbo. Call me Timbo. This is a my league introduction for the Portland Trailblazers, who I'll be taking over and managing in the SPA 2K League. Excited, man. This team is in a very interesting window and a point in their franchise right now, and man, I'm gonna do my best to try to capitalize and try to bring it, shoot to bring a championship to Portland. We have, of course, we'll go through this in a moment, but we have a couple of stars, and we have some other pieces that we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with, man. But I am excited to get going. Go ahead and hit me up on Twitter if you're interested in checking out more on some of the content that I do online. It's at Call Me Timbo underscore on Twitter. And once again, it's at Call Me Timbo underscore on Twitter. First things first, Dame Willard, Dame Dollar. He's the heart and soul of the team. It's pretty straightforward. 30 years old, one of the top players at his position, 94. Just an all-around beast, man. A dominant scoring guard. His job is put the ball in the basket. You see all the abilities and traits that he has. One of the main ones that when I've in my experience playing with Dame has been his ability to just finish. Like he can finish well around the rim, and when he's on, he's one of the more hotter users in the league. Hotter players in the league. Just in his ability to constantly get his shot when he wants it. And like I say, he's got a very solid handle, which a lot of people don't talk about Dame's handle. His handle is, I would say, it's probably pretty underrated. But because his handle gets him to his shot, and he creates so much space, and you don't see too many 6'2" guards that can, of course, they can dribble, but then to be able to get the shot with so much elevation. So he used a lot of legs in his shot. And he scores at a consistent rate. So having him, control the player of his talent is going to be very fun. His contract, I believe it just kicked in. Let me go back to it. I believe his contract just kicked in. Yeah. So he is about to be at the Supermax part of the deal starting next season, where it kicks in with the 43, and then he'll be at about 50 towards the latter half of this. So I'm looking at probably really trying to capitalize by the age 32 season, which is 2022. I'm looking to see where we are at that point. 33 is kind of the fringe year because it's the year before the contract year. But Dame, I just feel Dame. I feel Dame even has the ability to get better, even during this process, man. I think that Dame's the Batman. CJ McCollum is the Robin. He can get the shot whenever he wants. He can hold his own too, man. But I think McCollum is one of those players that's very self-aware. And one of the reasons, a big reason why I picked this team is because you just don't have too many teams that has a backcourt like this. Just two go-getters that, and then they love to let each other create. Like, okay, if I made two and then I missed one, okay, you got the next 3-4 possessions to get it going. And there's no, there's no, I guess, selfishness or anything like that between the two, the way they play. And they embrace that relationship on the court. So Nurkic is really, he's one of the more interesting players in the league overall because when he's really motivated, when he's really playing balls to the wall, rebounding, running the floor, at his size and frame, man, he can really do some damage. But the tendency with him has been defense. He can kind of be a turnstile. And not really hustle too much on defense because he is an offensive talent. He can do things, he can shoot the three as well, but he's a beast in the paint. Got a nice soft touch around the rim, and at 7 feet, man, it's just having that complementary piece there that can really be a difference maker on a team like that. He's the one I'm really locking in on as well in the first couple of seasons because he's going to be the one that helps us take us over the top because we're going to be playing against some guys that are, longer and bigger in the paint. We want to be able to contend and have Nurkic out there playing some critical minutes and really contributing to what we're doing. Man, this guy, we got to figure out what's going on with Hassan Whiteside, man. I mean, look, on the game, he still has pretty decent attributes, 31 years old, but boy, he plays soft. I mean, he plays soft, man. It's just, it boggles my mind because he has so much. He's at 31, so he's on the other side of his career. He spent a long time working himself into the player that he was at one point a few years ago, but once he got that money, things have changed. Of course, we have Carmelo. Carmelo's just on his last wings here, but he's a scorer. Definitely looking like a situational player. We can get a nice burst from him in stretches towards the end of the first quarter into the second. And the thing is, he will possibly start with Rodney Hood actually being healthy on the game. So we have him, who's another player, at least for this season, that I want to have as a key part of our rotation. He can stretch the floor. It's not as strong on the defensive end, which is what I want to create a really good defensive team, because you can stop the other team from scoring, then you can get out and run and make them think to their third and fourth options on offense. It really opens up the game. Gary Trent, 22. I think he's one of the X factors of this build, because he can always be someone that comes off the bench or eventually work himself into a starter where he just do what he do, just score and play defense. We're going to be looking to build him up on the perimeter as well, and on the defensive side. But he's a scorer that when he can be streaky. When he's on and that jumper from three is going, he can really make a difference on this squad. Of course, Zach Collins. Zach Collins is someone we're going to figure out about. This is the last year of his rookie deal. I believe he's up for a team option. I'm not sure. I have to go double check that, and we will in a minute. But Zach, 6'11", has ability to shoot as well from the perimeter, which is a big asset for players his size. So he's going to another valuable piece here that we're going to be figuring out what's going on. Nasir Little, for anyone that as you all will find out, I'm a big North Carolina Tar Heels fan of college basketball, and it's good to have one of my boys on the squad, Nas. One of the wings that he has to develop is athleticism a little bit more in terms of being able to create for himself offensively. So that's something where we're looking to have him take the next step. But he'll be a part of a project here. They got him as power forward, but he can also play small forward, play the wing. So kind of having that that wing, but also like baseline, side area, corner area. That's where he'll dominate, catch, kind of dump passes and kickouts, and we want to have him develop that 3-point shot too. Anthony Simons, him along with Gary Trent Jr., I think can be vital pieces off the bench, man, especially with McCollum and Dame there. So getting these two to really, blossom under those two, like you having a 1-2 like that come off the bench, a young group that can take their lumps but still actually put the ball in the basket. That's key. Pretty decent 3-point shot, and he's got to fill out his frame a little bit. He can play. He could get bullied a little bit by bigger guards. But his claim to fame right now is going to be when he's on the floor, he's got to put the ball in the basket. I'm probably going to have him a part of our 8-9 man rotation. Financially, sets up pretty decent. I mean, of course, you have anywhere from 70 to 80 plus million at the guard position that you'll be investing. But I mean, I'll put this out there, and as folks will see this, they'll maybe reach out after the fact. But McCollum can be moved. A couple people have actually reached out and asked me if I wanted to move him or if I had ideas about moving him. I'll be interested in just a conversation at the very least. I'm not that excited to move him or trade him. I like McCollum. Like I said, having a second guard like that that can get his own shot and actually can carry the load while Dame takes a rest, or helping out the second group. That's key. That's key to have that. And regardless of age, man, you wanna have a quality player playing critical minutes. So McCollum is someone that financially could be traded for something down the line. And of course, I want to get younger or combine some pieces to improve the roster. And I will say this roster definitely does need some improvement. If you look overall, I think only have 4 guys over 80 overall, and everybody else is 76 and below. So 78 and below. So we have to strike while the iron is hot, and we may not have that much iron right now but we're very top heavy, man. Even with Whiteside, you see Whiteside, he's one of the ones above 80. I mean, again, I can say what I want about him, but he is at least for this season and right now, we're trying to figure out what we could do Um, and yeah, but these contracts, and especially if you get towards the end where Dame is starting to make 50 million, CJ's making 35, and he'll probably be about 32 at that point. He'll be definitely a different player, regardless of what he'll be making. He'll be a different player than what we'll have. So it's gonna be fun to try to get that rolling. I'm excited to try to start managing this cap and get these young guys and then these team deals. Simons has an option for next year, so we'll definitely be picking that up. So he's not one to worry about too much. Quickly, I'm gonna go over the system that we're gonna run. As I've noted multiple times, we're guard base. McCollum, Dame, they're gonna get a lot of the heavy lifting done in terms of putting the ball in the basket. But as well, you see players like Carmelo who plays on the perimeter, as well as Rodney Hood. Melo, he's gonna have more of his ISOs, play within the mid-range, but catch and shoot threes, we're gonna need him to be a good part of our offense in that regard. Rodney Hood, like I said before, he can stretch the floor as well. And then of course Whiteside. I would like to get to a point where we're pretty much running and gunning. But the thing is, I like to play good defense, and that's actually something that I set up well. Of course, Dame's gonna get the majority of the minutes as a star, along with McCollum. But I like to go here first and work on what we're gonna do. So we're probably going about 9 deep, with us using the bench a good amount, especially into the second half, because that's where we're going to really have to catch our second win, things of that sort. Points of emphasis will always be we're going to run the offense through these two. Like, that's point blank clear. We're going to run the offense through them. I think Nurkic is he still injured? Yeah, so he's actually not going to start to play off the rip. We're going to play through the star. And then I always am patient on offense. Take what is there. Of course, you want to you can force the issue from time to time, but you always want to kind of just take what's coming to you. And then we're going to definitely, on defense, we're going to play physical. I don't mind the fouls. I feel like I have enough guys that, I'm not a hacker, especially when I'm playing, so I'm not really going to hack, but I'm going to play physical. I'm going to try to get in your jersey a little bit, make those shots a little bit tougher. The Blazers, man, we're trying to get it rolling. Championship, of course, is the goal, but we know the goal is full with a lot of things along the way that we'll have to check off and figure some things out. But this first season is just definitely getting the playoffs. We'll figure everything out from there, but we have to compete well enough and be consistent enough to make the playoffs, so we can figure everything else out. So we can figure out how we're gonna attack our matchups, things of that sort. But we have to be able to defend, and that's the main thing. This team is not as defensively, I'll say, talented as some of the others in the NBA. So we'll have to make up a lot of that with some scoring, and then of course just having good stretches of defense. I'll say we can't maybe guard 48 minutes of great defense, but we'll have to have good stretches where we get stops and make runs off of that. So first game haven't played one yet, so it's 0-0. So we'll be getting one going here pretty soon. But I'm excited to get it going. SPA 2K, shout out to Mo, Kush, everybody else who's a part of the admin squad and running things. First time really locking in and doing this. Expect to see a lot more here from the Blazers, as well from me, Timber. Check it out later. Thank you.